I met a gypsy.
Is there that you think that Supercross could do to make it safer for you guys? Like right now, without with the program too much? You're a vet. You've seen some
I mean, there's always things they can do. Like even just little stuff. Like after I had that issue on the triple back in 2018, the very next weekend, somebody else got landed on a triple. So then they started taking the tough blocks off of the outside of the triple so that if you doubled, you could have an escape route.
Yeah.
You know, because I was there that night when Morris and Trey, Morris landed on Trey because Trey got a block cover and ended up rolling the triple. And like, dude, that was not only was it traumatic to see, like I know Trey, so seeing that, it was like, man, it was rough. And obviously Mo's a good dude too. So seeing that happen, it's just like, man, could this have been avoided maybe? Like, I don't know. But when they did that, I did see like people using that as like a way to get off the track without getting landed on, which at the end of the day, like we're all so competitive and we're all like adrenaline and testosterone and man shit going on where you want to go out there and do your gladiator thing and you want to win and you stop thinking about the consequences and what can go wrong. But at the same time, I don't think any of us really, we all feel that like danger. We don't want to die for no reason, man. Like stuff can go super wrong in those situations, you know? So live to fight another day mean a lot more than doing something like that can be avoided, you know?
Yeah, because I mean that's definitely.
But I don't know, dude. It's a complex thing. Like it's tough. Like someone like Trey. Speaking of Trey, he tried to get in there and try to help make decisions, but it's just tough, man. There's a chain of command that things have to go through. Sometimes things cost money. Our sport's small, and we all feel like it's not because we live in this world and this is our bubble. But it's small, dude. Like people don't know who any of us are in the real world. You know, like we're just normal people, dude. If they figure it out and we explain it to them, then they get it sometimes, but we're not NBA players, you know, we don't have that kind of backing and that kind of funding to do whatever needs done. So it does make it more difficult too. But at the same time, there are simple things like the tough block thing or just having someone to talk to about maybe an obstacle that might be a little bit sketchy that needs worked on. Yeah. Just simple stuff like that, I think, is the most important because the sport hasn't changed much in the last 20, 30 years. Like, really? At least since, like, turn of the century, things have been pretty similar since then.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for what it is, it's a well-oiled machine, you know? And people like to give a lot of stuff to, you know, Feld or MX Sports, but, dude, without those guys, we have no livelihood. And those guys have... You know, it's a lot of work putting this stuff on, you know, it's not easy. So, there's not always someone you can blame, you know, like sometimes things just over time course correct themselves and get better over time because that's what happens throughout anything in life is trial and error. You don't know until you know. So yes, it would have been nice if that tough block wasn't on that triple when I rolled it, but I mean, that hadn't been an issue really in a while. So how are you going to know? Something happens and then being reactionary is still better than not doing anything. So,
is there like a rider rep every year? Like, is there someone that, like, let's say you've got an issue like the triple thing. Like, you do the first practice and you get out there and you go, dude, I could actually see me missing this triple. Like, at any point, this isn't an easy triple to make. And then they've got tough blocks on there. Is there someone that you can ride over to and be like, hey dude, I definitely think that like this should get changed? And then is there any process in place for you as a rider in those practices to go then and say this is something we should look at? Because hey, Supercross, you're there for a long ass time. It ain't like there isn't time in between the first time your wheels touch the track and the first gate drop of the night. You're there all fucking day.
Yeah, I don't know if there's like a certain, I guess, plan in place for things like that, but I mean, there are people that we can talk to, especially the guys like myself or a lot of the guys in the 450 class that have been around for a long time. You start to, you know people and things like that, so you can have conversations with them A lot of times you'll see guys like talk to, you know, the track builders or something like that, because those guys are there all day and they've all been in this a very long time as well, and they're open to feedback too. They're not getting their feelings hurt if you're like, dude, that thing is, the way that developed is a bit sketchy. Like maybe it just needs fixed. Like it's not got to be something is a problem. It's just sometimes things develop weird and causes, you know, something to start reaching up and biting you that you weren't, you know, really prepared for. So I think, you know, talk to track builders and stuff. That's really the only thing we can do at this point. You know, there's not like a rider rep or a safety representative of any kind. You know, we just know enough people around and talk to whoever you can get a hold of, and usually things get worked out pretty well.
I think though, for the sport to move forward in a positive direction, I'd see the benefit in there being an official process that you can go through as a rider. That, you know, it's like after each practice session, there's like a person you can go to, and then that concern is addressed, or, you know, like at least taken into consideration. If multiple people have that same concern, then they go there. I mean, I don't know. I think there should be more of a formal process. Like, hey, if there's something sketchy, if there's something with me, it's not to accuse anyone of doing a shit job. You know, the track, you are right, dude. Like those track builders, like they're fucking G's, man. They're there every single weekend, year on year on year, and there's never really that many issues. But the times where you do hear about like Villo's crash, that was a problem. Like that jump was a problem the whole time. I mean, even maybe some of the Dragonbacks that have kind of been in the last couple of years, there's, you know, where Coop crashed, like that was a problem. Like I know certain people have had issues with things on the track, and then they've led to really gnarly injuries. And the thing is like, if you're felled or MX sports, I mean, I don't think it happens as much in outdoors. I mean, I might be wrong on that, but I feel like Supercross is a little bit more like kind of on a razor's edge. But it's like, if you're MX sports, dude, like felled, you don't want Villapoto going over the fucking bars and destroying his leg. You don't want Cooper Webb crashing out of a Supercross championship. Like that shit changed that championship, like straight up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's always kind of been an issue too, is keeping all the main guys healthy, but just part of it. But yeah, I think I agree with you on that. Outdoors, it's not as, the margin for error in Supercross is razor thin. Yeah. Like it's so small. If you have the slightest lapse in concentration whatsoever, you can end up on your head quick. Where with outdoors, you can kind of be more creative and find places to kind of
go around,
rest a bit, or recharge for a sec. You can miss bumps. You can do Supercross. There's not really any new way to do anything. Everyone kind of does it all the same. You better get a good start, and then you better just sprint your ass off for 20 minutes and, you know, hope it all goes good, because there's not really anything super creative you can do in Supercross. So the margin for error is smaller because you're all trying to go so fast doing the same thing. At least from my experience, that's what I feel.
Yeah, so
that makes it harder than really any of the other stuff.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.